Hello there, everyone. Welcome to the Takedown Troop review. As I'm trying to fix my hood here, that's a fun thing. But welcome, everyone, and hello. Listen, I'm just gonna put it out there right now. This is not gonna be a good. This is not gonna be a fun episode. This is gonna be a rough one.
Oh no, this is going to be a brilliant episode.
Oh.
Do you know why this is going to be a brilliant episode? To borrow the philosophy of one Anton Ego
Why?
from the movie Ratatouille, negative reviews are fun to write and they're fun to read. Okay? There's nothing wrong about that. There's a reason that there are at least 2 volumes of Roger Ebert's worst film reviews. I own one of them. It's called Your Movie Sucks. It's a great read, okay? But it's a collection of some of his worst reviews. And I hope it's fun for the people at home to listen to it. So in that regard, this is going to be a brilliant episode.
Man,
I am living up to the title that is on my placard right there, Chief Hating Officer. I'm going full Waldorf and Statler on this one. Call me Mike Nelson, because I'm going to have my 2 bots hanging out with me here, making fun of this shit the whole time, okay?
Yeah, so if you couldn't already tell, Radio Will and I are going to be here to tear apart and a mess. I can't word today, but we're gonna be ripping TNA a new one. Yeah, this episode broke my rule when it came to report cards, and I was just like, damn, we're barely like 3 weeks into January. TNA, you already got me giving you D's and shit. What the flip?
Okay, but I can't blame you for giving it the grade of a D, because like the matches itself, C-. That's the whole thing. The reason it falls into a D, this was your chance to turn over a new leaf. And look, I understand with a new audience comes an opportunity to sort of fill people in on like the details of what's happened recently so that they're up to speed with all of the current goings on. But this was not how you do that, guys. Like, all right, and before we get into this, and I mean, like, part of this episode is absolutely going to be talking about the roster issues that TNA is having right now. But let's pull that Band-Aid off. Hold on, because I took notes on this. While I was at work, definitely not supposed to be doing other like important day job shit. Definitely didn't have anything to do there. And I listed, so the big news this week was the Rascals, all 4 of them signing with AEW. And that feels weird to talk about because, like, 100% honesty, that's a pretty good get for AEW. I won't go so far as to call it a great get. It's pretty good. Because if they were going to move anywhere, I'm glad they landed in AEW. Because they would have been wasted in WWE. AEW, I feel like they have a better chance to, like, because if you put them on Collision and have them feud with Top Flight and CD's stable of people there, tag team match where you just put on low gravity mode and call it a day. Okay, them fight in midair. Okay, that's going to be great. But it's a pretty good get for AEW. It is a massive blow to TNA's roster.
This X division is now in shambles too.
Like, so I made a quick list because we also lost the Inspiration this week. I don't see that as a major loss, but it is what it is.
They finished up with TNA after last night. So now the Knockouts tag team division is just like, okay. Well, I mean, it was already struggling. Now it's on life support, but we got one Knockouts tag team right now.
Okay, the women's tag team division is currently the Angel Warriors, the Elegance brand, and Harley Hudson and Miley Grace. That's about it. So we've lost JDC, Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz, Desmond, I can't remember his last name, the 4th member of the Rascals, whose name is escaping me at the moment, Matt Cardona, Jake something,
Xavier.
Both members. What's that? Xavier?
Yes.
Wait, Xavier what? What about Xavier?
Desmond Xavier.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So Desmond Xavier, the 4th member whose name I can't remember, Matt Cardona, Jake something, both members of the Inspiration, Joe Hendry, and Masha Slambo. Now, I understand Masha was a different circumstance. We still lost her, okay? And I get, like, don't get me wrong, I am not... Put it this way, I understand why she's gone, and I'm okay with it. The moral of the story, though, for this purpose of this list, is she's gone. And who have we picked up since then?
Yeah.
Bear Bronson, The Righteous, Vincent and Dutch.
Yep.
So, fun fact, I was looking on TNA's roster page the other day, BDE is officially listed as a
Mhm.
member of their roster now, so he counts.
Yep, they signed him, I think, 2 weeks ago, I think?
Yeah, and after this particular episode, we can now add Elena Black and Daria Ray to the list. We've lost 11, picked up 5. Oh boy.
I
And
know.
it's just like, they got to start hiring people like yesterday.
Yeah. I'm gonna get in more into that, especially when we get towards the tail end of the show, because I sent like a multi-paragraph text message to the boys who are out because the whole group chat that I have for most of the hosts, we like to, razz each other. And this morning I woke up to a bunch of texts and it was be like, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? It's like, I know what you're doing, so fuck y'all. But I was just like, you're not wrong though, and let me tell you why. So it was a good conversation this morning. And then I reiterated it again when I was talking to Will during my lunch break. He's like, this episode sucked. I was just like,
Yeah.
yep, I warned you last night. I was not kidding. So we're going to just get into it. But first, I got to shout out the homie Nick, who is a friend of the channel. Love him. Also has his own podcast, him and his wife at the Nick Happy Hour Wrestling Podcast. Their shows are on Fridays, and they like to jump in during our watch along. Sometimes it causes a little bit of chaos, so we love them. Just a couple of different things. Rascals, I think, have more value in TNA since there's less of a tag division. That being said, if AEW invests in the tag team division, it's a good move, but I don't trust TK.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
It's like I said, it's more of a loss for TNA than it is a gain for AEW.
I hate you, Nick, but yes.
Yeah, no, that's like, and honestly, like after losing all of the names that they lost already, it's like,
Oh man, what a way to start.
it should have been a sign. Well, technically it was a sign, just a sign. When the first thing that happens on the show was a botch. The AJ Styles logo is up on the Titantron or whatever they call it, long enough for the crowd to pop a little bit over, hey, AJ Styles. And then for the crowd to die down. AJ, you coming, bud?
So just like his Slammiversary appearance, AJ comes out. This is the house that AJ Styles built. Let's get crazy. That's it. I'm like, I was like, TNA, stop playing in my face. I was like, I know the Fed is probably not going to let AJ have a match in TNA right now. And I'm like, why not though? But
why not? They're letting everybody else come over from WWE.
I know all the NXT kids are coming over, which I don't mind. And we're going to talk about certain ones. If a certain female wrestler for NXT ends up with gold, then we're going to have issues.
Yep. No.
You're going to veto me. It's okay. I love you still.
Yeah, no, I have thoughts.
Guys, we're going to fight on screen tonight. No, I'm just kidding. The funny part is I say that, but I will also agree with you too. I was like, I already know it. I was like, this is a personal preference, but I also agree with you. But yeah, this was a sign that it was only going to go downhill from here. I was expecting it to be like at least an ease into the nosedive, but we jumped off.
No.
We jumped off the cliff, and this is how we dived headfirst with this match.
This plane went from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock, like immediately.
So I'm gonna get on TNA in a second, but I was just like, okay, so AJ Styles, whatever. We get into this match. This is Elijah and the Hardys taking on Order 4, which of course is Mustafa Ali and the Great Hands, with Tasha being out there as support. I didn't think this was the worst thing the night, but I'm just like, I feel like I've seen this match lots of times before.
Okay, and you know how every once in a while there will be a spot that you kind of had, like the suspension of disbelief kind of goes out the window. There was one of those in this match. The superplex that Elijah gave to Ali using the Great Hands, like standing on their backs. Do you remember that bit? Like,
yep.
That, like, I'm sitting there going, like, did they really think this looked cool?
I was like, sirs.
Like, this is like, just could, like I said, suspension of disbelief is just gone. Like, as a wrestling fan, I understand. You got to sort of lean into some of the absurdity of it. Just give more of a reasonable doubt than not. Because it's fun. It's wrestling. It's supposed to be over the top. This one just, why did you think that looked cool? Like, I don't know. Yeah, this is just like meh.
Yeah,
I like Mustafa Ali as a performer. I really do. But like I said, like the creative that they're giving him and the rest of Order 4 is just, it's cartoon villainy. And as I'm sitting here talking about it, I understand why to a degree, especially the way the world is right now. And he's playing this kind of politician-inspired character. They don't want to make things too heavy and go too on the nose by making him this just like patently evil politician. Because we have one of those, you know? And I get the nature of them like wanting to put on a show and get people to forget about the problems in the country right now. And to make, and one of the things in doing that is making Order 4 cartoonish. And to that, I look TNA square in the eye and say, no balls. You have an opportunity to make Order 4 a really compelling villain right now.
Come on, Carlos Silva, get it together.
Yeah, go ahead. Make Ali Trump. Do it. I dare you.
Go full with
make him that much of a monster.
And the funny thing is, Radio, I feel like that's where I thought we were going with Ali when he had his feud with Mike. Now, again, this was before your time. No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
But no, literally last year, going into Rebellion, April 2025, Mike Santana and Ali were feuding. There was no title, but Ali was going a little bit darker because he was, talking about Mike's sobriety. He crashed one of his AA meetings. Like he was like putting alcohol in his face and like playing around with it. I was like, ooh, this is some dark stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of dig that.
Yeah.
And then after that that match at Rebellion was really good too, because it was basically a no DQ falls count anywhere match. So it was nuts. Tasha Steelz went through a table. It was crazy. The great hands were bleeding. Ali was bleeding. Santana was bleeding. And I was like, ooh, Ali, I'm so mad that we wasted Ali and Mike Santana feud because that was so compelling.
And I'm not against ridiculousness or wrestling. I like comedy wrestling. I like it a lot. But like, there's no other heel that you could have put Elijah against to do this bit with. You probably couldn't have done with Frankie, but you get it. You couldn't have done this with Ryan Nemeth. This would have been great with Ryan Nemeth. It would have been better than what we fucking got with Ryan Nemeth tonight. Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, Jeffrey, did we not learn from the last 5 years? I was just like, what did we tell you about this gauges? I was like, everybody's putting things through it. There's been screwdrivers. His ear got chained to a ladder during the pandemic era. That ladder match with him, AJ, and Sami Zayn. And now the chain is in his ear once again. I was just like, okay.
But I don't know. That's one of those spots that even icks me out a little bit.
It was a little weird and uncomfortable. I was like, I was just like, I know how gauges work. I have friends who have them, but never in my mind would I think that I would stick or like lock up their ear to a corner where I was just like, what in the saw is this?
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, welcome, Jeffrey. You have 5 minutes to try to.
I still like the Righteous. I really hope they do get the belts off of the Hardys, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll talk about it when we do our predictions for Genesis. Because I forgot to say that at the top of the show, we would also be doing predictions for Genesis, which is tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting. But let's keep going, though. Get this out my face because y'all know why are we playing in my face?
Yeah.
It's like, don't do this to me. Moving on. Daria, you are the only bright spot in my eyes. This was everything, girl.
It's nice to see her in a ring. It's like, especially after how dirty WWE did her.
It's like, homegirl was willing to do anything, you guys. Like, shout out to Chris Van Fleet because we get all the tea from him and all the other podcasters that interviewed him. It's like, homegirl was willing to do everything. And she deserves the world, especially everything that happened with her and Mandy and that whole situation at their house that they were sharing. It was wild.
I didn't hear anything about that part.
So to give you the Spark Notes version, so Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, we're going to use their WWE names. They were living together. They had a house together. And so Mandy had a stalker and he broke in and like he found out where she lived. Like he came into the house while they were home. They had to escape. It was like a psychological thriller. And then this is kind of messed up part, right? So Mandy is going through all of this. Sonya is there. And so they still had to perform. They had a feud, during the pandemic era and everything. Mandy is going to court. Sonya is the eyewitness, Then Sonya ends up getting hurt, but she's still on main roster. Mandy is over in the Nickelodeon slime version of NXT is what I called it during the rebrand with all the colorful stuff. She ends up becoming, NXT Women's Champion. And then it's crazy to look at it now because she decided to start some pages. Then WWE is like, nah, we're going to let you go, girl. And she was still in the middle of the court cases with this too. I was just like, yeah, it was crazy times. And then I was like, ooh, Natalya and Sonya are about to feud. And then Sonya got dropped too. I just can't have nothing nice. Like, honestly, this is a hate crime. I will say, shout out to Sonya. But anyways, Santino is kind of still depressed, but not really. I don't know. And so TNA management is just like, we're going to give you like an assistant slash a co-GM. And here comes Daria. And everyone's chilling for her. And then she immediately went into, heel GM mode. I was like, at least he had a couple of segments compared to one in Slammiversary. But guys, we all know what we want: AJ versus Leon, but they would never let that happen in TNA. We're gonna wait. I was just like, TNA. Now I know good and goddamn well. Why are we lying?
Here's the thing.
Let's just talk about it now. Fuck it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This episode was supposed to have Myron Reed versus Leon Slater. Now, obviously, there's a problem there, as we discussed at the top of the show. The Rascals signed with AEW. That's not the problem, though. It's because WWE basically said, like, no, we're taking Leon to Europe with us. That was the primary reason for that match getting pulled. Evidently, Myron even said, "I'll do this last match."
He was willing to stay with TNA and do the match with Leon.
Yeah. Like, we'll finish this out, do one last match, and call it a night for the X Division thing. Like, I'm not going to win it, obviously. I'm not taking the X Division title, the trademark, title of TNA with me to AEW. It's, let's round it out. And then WWE is like, no. And see, I have some tinfoil on this, okay? I've got a little bit of tinfoil hat going on here on that particular match. My theory is that WWE got wind of the Rascals going to AEW, and then because they have they're going to get Leon Slater as soon as his contract expires with TNA. There's no doubt about that. And basically the optics of the WWE's next golden child sharing a ring with someone that's bound for AEW, they weren't having that. That is my tinfoil hat there. Like, it's bonkers, it's stupid, it's tribalist, but that it's still one of those, like, the crazy conspiracy theorist in the back of my head is like, hey, there's something here. I know it's like they just want Leon Slater for themselves and blah blah blah, but I don't know, man.
I was like, look, here's the thing, right? I was like, this kid is getting to live his dreams. Yeah, that's what I want for him.
Absolutely.
But the politicking of it is some bullshit. Well, it really, really is. And it is. I also agree with the conspiracy theory. I was just like, you knew damn well that y'all were going to be in the UK during Genesis. And so you're just like, hey, we're going to take Leon for the UK tour. Like, for the UK dates that WWE is in Europe over the next like month and a half or so. And it's just like, he gets to perform in his hometown. You know what it really was for.
It reeks, like, especially after all the counter programming that WWE has done against AEW, this absolutely reeks of WWE sabotage.
Yep. Why? I was like, it is 2026. Why are we doing stuff like we were back in 2006? Bitch, I was still in middle school back then. What the? Okay, I was like, I recognize this man's face. I just got to remember fair. Thank you for that.
Yeah, like, I did a quick Google of him when he showed up here, because, okay, I'm not gonna lie, the reason I Googled him is because, like, wait, that kind of looks like Griff Garrison, and I wanted to make the joke of, who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
Unfortunately, it is not Griff Garrison. He's still stuck in the frat house in Ring of Honor. This was bad. This was a really bad segment. I was just like, God, this match sucked.
Yeah, no, it sucked. It, like, this, the inspiration not exactly living up to their tag team name, and basically as soon as this episode ended, they announced that they were leaving TNA, and made about the inspiration on Impact. That both of those words do not mean what, like, you keep using those words. I don't think they mean what you think. They did not make an impact,
second run
and they were not exactly inspiring.
No, this second run for them was trash, and I am the first to admit it because I love these girls. I really do. Sure. I'm unbiased. The Iconics is our literal.
You named your whole empire after them.
I love those two, and I will ever love these two. The second run was, in the words of Lisa Edwards, this was hot garbage, mama. Like, what was? Oh God. Yeah. I'm going to quote another lovable drag queen that I love a little bit later in the show, because I was just like, Tatiana, we're putting you in the chamber, girl. You're coming up in a little bit. But yeah, this was bad. The Elegance girls are now Knockouts tag team champs again. And I was like, cool. Again, I was like, fine. And I was like, we don't have a tag team division anymore. Like, at this point, like, we literally we're bare boning it right now. Oh God. Alrighty. I don't want to talk about this no more because this hurts my heart for everyone involved. Okay, so hear me out, right? I was not mad at this. I was just like, honestly, so Well, here's the thing. I wasn't mad at this, but I'm going to be mad more when we get into predictions because I'm like, I swear to God, if y'all, don't get me wrong, I love Zarya. I was just like, love me some. I mean, we brought it up earlier, but this is where I was calling TNA out on the bullshit because of. Let's talk about these visa issues, right? Because
Oh yeah, that's what they blame. That's what they blamed for Leon's absence.
I
And
was just like, I was like, don't lie to my face. I know where he is now. Danny Luna is a whole different story because I haven't seen her like be anywhere else. So
yeah,
I was just like, but here's my thing, TNA. You say that it's visa issues, like in the case of Danny Luna, you had a whole fucking month to get this shit together before this preview because all the tapings that we saw for the last 3.5 weeks were all done after final resolution at the beginning of December.
and not for nothing, guys. Like by claiming visa issues for both Danny Luna and Leon Slater.
Not to mention your Canadian talent too,
Did
minus Eric Young, because I was just like, no Jody Threat, no Hometown Man. Like all the Canadians were also not on the show either.
wait? Did you guys really just sacrifice Danny Luna to cover your ass for Leon Slater to cover WWE's ass for you?
I was like, what the fuck? I was just like, this is insane. But Santino comes out with Lane Lee and Zaya Brookside.
Yeah. Well, that's like Canadian talent wasn't here. British talent. Wait. Hold on. British talent was here. Indy Hartwell was fine. Lei Ying Lee was fine.
I was
Granted,
like,
I don't know what their citizenship status is, so I don't know if they need a visa or not. But like,
I know Indy and that. I was just like, she's fine. I mean, Lane Lee is fine as your first, Anyways, but coming into this, Santino's like, there's visa issues with Danny Luna, so our Knockouts champion is not facing Danny at Genesis, which I was like, bummer, because I was just like, I was looking forward to that match. So then, we have the team of Zaruka, so Sol Ruka and Zarya come out, and so I'm like, okay, I like these girls. I really, really do.
I swear to fucking Christ, if they put the TNA Knockouts belt on another fucking TXT wrestler, I'm gonna riot.
No, and that's what I'm getting at because I was gonna wait until predictions, but I'll get that right now because I love Sol Zarya and I actually am not mad. I wish it was Danny Luna, but hey, Zarya is another muscle mommy that can fight, our champion, and I'm here for it. On paper, I'm still excited. However, ellipses like if Zarya walks out as TNA Knockouts champion, I'm gonna pull a New Jersey Housewives and flip a table.
it is going to the pay-per-view.
He is going to Genesis.
Okay.
He is aware of the changes that has happened. I'm sure he's gonna have a fun time, but I will probably be getting some text messages if certain results happen.
Paposo, if you're watching this, please, that the classic sign from the ECW one night stand, if Cena wins we riot. Can we get one of those? If Zarya wins we riot.
So I was just like, what the hell happened with everybody else? What we do? I know he's not international, but I was like, Macklin was also not here for this show. I'm like, I get that he lost last week, but like, where is why is Macklin not on the show?
That's I'm not sure if I think we sort of skipped over one of the promo bits that made me the maddest.
Let's talk about it.
Like, first of all, there was the Ryan Nemeth thing. Like Ryan Nemeth's bit about getting into it with the AMC actors that are, in the audience. Once again, I get it. You're trying to cross promote on AMC. That's nothing new. I'm fine with that. But bro, a low blow, trying to hop the barrier and low blowing yourself. That would have been called hack on Mystery Wrestling. All right.
On this Sunday, I'm looking forward to that one.
Fucking right.
Review next Thursday. Shameless plug.
Yeah, that would have been called hack on Mystery Wrestling. And this is TNA. Don't get me wrong. I love Mystery Wrestling, but they don't have the budget that TNA does. The other thing that really made me lose my shit. TNA, really important question. This is your debut episode on AMC.
Why are two of your top heels in the goddamned audience?
Lord help us.
I understand. We over the weeks, we have Eric Young, not like his current gimmick, the whole cleanse thing, not in great taste. We get that. Okay.
But AJ Francis, though.
AJ Francis, kind of a polarizing figure amongst us here on the Takedown Troop, and I get that. But these are still two of your top bad guys.
Actually, really mad for AJ. And let's just talk about this now, because this whole feud, this match that he's having with Rich Homie Swan tomorrow at Genesis, I was just like, it's all been built in stupid digital exclusives. I was like, why have we not aired these like penthouse segments like actual segments? I was just
And
like, what is
and
happening?
and this episode in particular that has this much filler,
I'm like, guys, you have a
this many promos that could have been an email, and you couldn't figure out you couldn't get an instance in here to get what, like, another, like, you couldn't have AJ ambush Swan or vice versa at
For
some
real.
point over the course of the thing.
Tag me in.
You couldn't have had Eric Young like sneak up on someone and be like, or anything like that. All right, go tag, go.
All right, tag me in. And here's another thing, TNA, as I give my index finger ready, right? I'm like, here's another thing that pissed me off. And you bring this up. So these are the things that I'm gonna be mad at. You are on AMC. How is the backstage audio still dog shit? Like, what is happening? I was just like, your production was ass, but what in the WWE bullshit was this? I was just like, because I expect this shit from Raw and SmackDown. But I'm like, in a 2-hour wrestling show, and we have like 25 minutes of whole wrestling. Moving on. In the words of the great drag queens, Tatiana, choices.
This, you know what this was? I'm watching this, and it's like TNA basically like, all right, we're getting started on a new network. What can we do? All right, hold on. Other shows, another very big wrestling show started on a new network recently, right? About this same time last year. And what did they do? Oh, they brought out one of their biggest figures who is roundly hated by the community now. Let's do that. So, like, yeah, Hogan on Raw on Netflix, Carter on Impact on AMC.
Like the Alamo, we never forget. My God. And then to make matters like even weirder, Bully Ray comes out. Dixie and Bully stare down each other, and then he gives her a hug. I'm like, I don't like her. I don't like him. This is gross to watch. Let's move on with our lives. So I was like, God. I also hated this because I was just like, y'all, I kid you not, I looked at my clock. I'm like, they have 12 minutes. You mean to tell me you gonna rush this match for 12 fucking minutes? Fuck you, TNA. I was just like, oh, hell no.
Credit where it's due. I appreciate, especially given that this was the AMC debut, like all of like doing the Code Red and the Angel's Wings and the Canadian Destroyer and like all of these nods to, that was pretty cool. I will give them a golf clap for that. You kept your D from becoming a D-. But like
12 fucking minutes. I was like, what? I want to run this. I want to take you on a journey, right? So, Mike Santana, you are a better man than me, because if I was in your shoes and TNA pulled this bullshit with not just this episode, but the bullshit that they've been pulling with you since the summer, I would have like not resigned. I would have gone somewhere else. I was just like, now, Mike, I know you left AEW of your own accord. You faced your demons and you were signed to TNA. I am happy you're on my screen because Lord knows somebody needs to put some Latin talent and Latin world champions on my television screen.
And like, honestly, they were never going to give him that same kind of push in AEW.
No, exactly. Like, which I was fine with. I was just like, there's too many people in that roster. I still believe that. Right. I love AEW.
Oh, yeah.
That's always been the issue. I was like, we had too many people on this roster. But when you came to TNA like a year and a half ago, and I was excited because I know you, I know your work, LAX, you got the history with TNA anyway. So I was just like, listen, and you're Puerto Rican too, so I gotta support my Boricuas out here. But again, you are a better man than me, because let me take you on this journey. So Trick Williams beats Joe Hendry back in May of 2025 at NXT Battleground to become TNA World Champion. Over the course of 2 months, Trick Williams is terrorizing NXT and TNA by doing some bullshit, is what I'm gonna call it. Mike Santana and Joe Hendry are like, listen, like, we beefing, but we also have a common enemy in Trick Williams. So this triple threat gets made at Slammiversary in Mike Santana's town backyard of New York. And so I was like, perfect, Mike Santana. I was just like, I know better, because if you're in the hometown, you're probably going to lose anyways. But even still, this would have been a great moment. Nah, you had Mike almost win. Trick Williams pulls some bullshit and pins Joe Hendry. And then you have Trick Williams cuck Mike Santana all the way to October for him to finally win that championship at Bound for Glory. I feel like we waited too long for that one. You should have had Mike win at Slammiversary.
And to add insult to injury, if I may. And you're going to have him lose the title in his hometown of New York, this New Yorker, and then you're going to let him
Win it in Boston?
I say this as a Bostonian. I know the heat there. I know the rivalry. Really? Everyone in that arena was like,
It's for me.
we're here, like, yeah, way to go, Mike Santana, finally winning the champion. But everyone in that arena was like, but he's from New York.
Some craziness. Oh, but we keep going because Mike Santana wins at Bound for Glory. Then we have no TNA shows for a whole ass month. We got nothing but clip shows and the Thanksgiving special. Then we come back like 2 weeks before Final Resolution, and I'm just sitting here. I'm like, okay, we're back on TNA TV. Like, let's see what happens. You know, it's the live show, so it is what it is. You know, we're gonna get the overhanging shots of people, so it's like whatever. Mike Santana is having a match, and I was just like, oh, this should be fun. The B Squad of Evolve come down and beat him up. I was like, what the flip is this? Frankie Kazarian comes out, cashes in his shot, and beating down Mike Santana to become TNA World Champion. And I'm just sitting here, and back at that point, I was sitting there. I was just like, "Oh, I swear to God, TNA just hates success." 30 days as champion, no TV, first title defense. This man used to take the title off of Santana. I was like, "Just what?"
Genesis better have like some mind-blowing surprise starts or something, like debuts. Put it this way, if you don't you better, this thought literally just crossed my mind. You better bring in someone like Chris fucking Jericho, who is still trying to find a home somewhere in the wrestling universe to be like, all right, yeah, no, like it better be someone like that like it needs to be Chris Jericho or like one of the biggest names on the indies to like. And
there's a whole bunch of talent, but like if you're looking for the big ones, I was just like, I feel like they've already been scooped up by the other promotion.
Right.
But
that was another thing. One thing that they brought in, because there was a little card for it. They're bringing back Feast or Fired. Are you really gonna like risk losing more of your roster now?
Not to say, because I was gonna bring that up when they started talking about next week. I was like, oh God, Feast or Fired is back. We lost well, I mean, he had to go back because of excursion, but we lost the New Japan talent that way. Like last time we did it like 2 years ago. Oh God, I was just like, now here's the thing, if Ryan Nemeth gets fired and is played for laughs, like whatever, then I was like, that's cool, that's fine. I'm here for that. Ryan, I can't believe we're actually going to talk about you, but you have a match at Genesis, and I don't know how I feel about this match in the sense of like, it's probably not going to be that great, but I'm rooting for your opponent to whoop your ass. I have prayed for your opponent. We're going to talk about Mike because he has a match at Genesis and some bullshit, and I was like, I swear to God, TNA, if you pull some bullshit again, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. So Mike Santana is your new TNA World Champion, and
let's see if he can hold on to it for more than one episode.
For reals, like not even 48 hours, he's gonna lose it. So, alrighty. Well, here's the thing. So we are done with the review portion, but we are not quite done yet. So I know it pains me to say this, but not really. But I enjoyed doing the predictions. But this
card is basically the same show that we just watched.
It really is. I was just like, oh hell no. I was just like, we had a lot of changes.
This was a 2-hour ad for this pay-per-view.
God, it was so rough. All right, let me send it to Will, and let me send it into Will too, so he gets this. All right, here we go. Right, let me get this open. So we have a lot of changes from this episode that is leading us into what we are getting for Genesis. Also, I happen to be scrolling the internet as well, so this is not on the predictions form, but we can talk about it and I can add it and write it down. But yeah, I already know the result, what's going to happen. So Santino made a new match like as of 10 minutes ago for Genesis. Stax is going to defend his international championship against Eric Young, newly signed BDE. And the way that Santino worded it, a star who has made a name for themselves in Texas. And I'm just like, I swear to God, if it's JBL, we're going to fight. It's like, oh, hell no. I'm trying to think of like any Texas talent on the independent scene. And I was just like, there's Manders, which would be amazing. But other than that,
could it be one of the younger Von Erichs?
Well, I mean, that could be a possibility. I don't know how AEW and ROH would feel about that. But
are they signed to ROH right now?
The Von Erich boys are signed to Ring of Honor.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
I wasn't sure if they were indie or not. So
I was like, I'm also thinking like if you want to bring some folks over from south of the border, you got a lot of unsigned independent
Yep.
luchadors you can put into. I was just like, I'm just saying. All that being said, I'm picking Stacks is probably going to retain because it's some bullshit. I was just like, no, Stacks is probably going to retain.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Like, that's gonna Stacks will retain that because it's gonna be more of a focus on like it'll be a nice sort of jumping on point for whoever is debuting there. But
At least I hope it's someone new and debuting and not some craziness. But who knows? TNA. LOL TNA is what we're rolling with this week. So now let's get into the actual card because this card had some changes and it has some bullshit too. Because we're gonna talk about it. I don't care if Mara Sade. I was just
Yes.
like, I hope she whoops her right
Uh,
Devin's ass. I will say though, I can't believe I'm saying this on paper. I was like, I don't care because the build to this has been kind of stupid, but honestly, this actually has the potential to be really great in a so bad it's so good way. Like if they play the funny tee hee ha ha's right and Mara Sade whoops his ass, I'm actually kind of here for it.
yeah, I can't see Ryan Nemeth winning this in a way that makes anyone feel good.
Right? I was like, I don't want to say but have Mara Sade win because watching her super kick him every week has been actually really fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know my opinion of Ryan Nemeth. He is like, this is what X-Pac Heat is. This is the go fuck yourself, Ryan.
Yeah.
This is not, oh hey, wow, what an asshole. He plays a great heel. It's like, no, what an asshole. Get off my screen.
Honestly.
Do you remember that? You know that story about Vince McMahon wanting to blur out Christian's face because he didn't like Christian's face? I want that for Ryan Nemeth.
God, that'd be hilarious. All right, so we both got Mara Sade to beat Ryan Nemeth.
Yep.
Moving on. Again, I am sad that we have relegated most of this build to digital exclusives, but it is AJ Francis versus the rich homie Swan. I honestly still don't know who to pick.
I love AJ Francis. I think it's going to be Swan.
I think so too.
It needs to be that kind of like blow off the guy that's been the underling taking down his former boss kind of thing.
I agree too, because AJ's been the more domineering one, beating up Rich Swann every time he gets a chance. And so the last couple of weeks.
And honestly, like let Rich Swann beat AJ Francis here, and honestly, put AJ in contention for a title. Put him in the titles, put him in, I would say put him in the international title scene.
I was gonna say too, let him run with the mid-card championship
absolutely.
That.
Yep.
Alrighty, so Rich homie Swan for both of us. Then we get into Elijah versus Mustafa Ali. Here's the thing, right? It's really hard because I know Elijah's not doing it for you.
Yeah.
Like Elijah, I just need more from him in terms of like creative wise, I think, because I was just like, and again, he's been out, so it hasn't helped that either. With all that being said, though, I'm going with Ali because I feel like he kind of should win this one.
I'm actually going to go with Elijah on this.
Okay.
Not because I want him to win, but I think he will. Because when you've played up both of these people as cartoonishly as they have both been, basically, Ali being the Elmer Fudd to Elijah's El Kabong. Yes, I know that Elmer Fudd and El Kabong were not in the same cartoon studio. I don't give a fuck. Get in the comments. Deal with it.
If you don't like me, fight me.
Bring your opinion to the comments. It helps our engagement. I won't respond, but you can say go off in the comments.
Go off, sis.
This is the cartoon portion. And for that, you need the good guy to win. Elijah's currently the babyface. Elijah's going to win this. And maybe losing to Elijah in the fashion that he does might sort of shake something loose in Ali to play up the Order 4 thing a little bit more seriously, a little bit darker.
I know it's not necessarily the same like ethnicities and races, but Ali, I need you to go from wannabe politician and just go full blown. We're gonna take over the planet like freaking Neymar. I need that level.
If you're gonna, honestly, Ali, if you're dedicated to the whole cartoon character thing, get away from Elmer Fudd and go more towards Lex Luthor. And I mean, I'm not talking Super Friends Lex Luthor. I'm talking 90s animated series Lex Luthor. Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor.
So this is the first split, and I love it. So this is great. All right, moving on though. The final dance. This is JDC's retirement match, and it is him versus Edward Edwards. Eddie Edwards. I will call him the Edward Edwards. But Eddie Edwards, but I have Eddie as well. I was like, it's a retirement match, man.
Yeah, JDC's going out on his back. Leave the boots in the ring. Call it a night.
And he can go enjoy being a first-time dad. I was like,
yeah,
we love it. It should be fun. I'm not ready for the Eddie Edwards, Edward Edwards to cry. Because everyone's going to start crying. I already know it.
My only complaint about this match is that because both of them came up through the Massachusetts scene, I mean, Eddie's whole thing is his finisher, the Boston Knee Party. Like they should have called this like a Beantown Brawl or something like that and made it no DQ.
That's the other thing too, because like after Ali and Santana, JDC and Santana had a Texas death match too. Oh, but don't worry, Mike Santana will be back in the Texas death match. We're gonna get to him in a little bit, but yeah, Edwards for both of us.
Yep.
WWE bullshit. We do not have the X Division triple threat like I was excited for. So instead, Joe, I love you dearly, but you are the consolation prize. And I was
because of the WWE bullshit.
So this is just a regular triple threat, and it is, Joe Hendry. At least if you're gonna do this, you should like make this a number one contenders match then for the X Division championship.
No. If you're bringing Joe Hendry in for this, then you need to make this a comedy match. This needs to be full meme.
The funny thing is that Moose can do it, because there was a time when, before he went to AEW, Moose had a program with All Ego Ethan Page and his Kung Fu character. It was ridiculous, and
real quick, while we have Joe Hendry on our screen, there is another bit of. I won't go so far as to call it news because it is still very much rumor, but I want to state this for the record. Evidently, there's a rumor going around that Danhausen is looking at going to WWE.
Yep.
I want this for two reasons. Number one, I want to see all of the Fed heads that called him Cringehausen or whatever just immediately change their tune and start being like, wow, this guy's really funny. Ha ha ha. The other thing is I want to have him as a tag team or feud with Joe Hendry.
We've talked about this before.
Have we? Okay.
Online and offline too, but I am here for all of it.
Say his name and you'll be cursed. I believe in Danhausen.
Yes. Listen, Danhausen, Radio Will is hiring. Oh my goodness. But yeah, thanks to some WWE bullshit, we got some more WWE bullshit, and now this is a triple threat. This is going to hurt me more than anything, because originally, if it was going to be the X Division triple threat like we were supposed to get, I would have picked Leon Slater, because I was like, I don't want Leon to lose the title anytime soon, but there's no stakes to this, and like, this is gonna probably bite me, but I'm going with Cedric. I like, of these three, I'm like, I don't want to bet against Cedric. I really don't, but I don't know.
I'm also gonna go with Cedric, but I have a reason behind it.
Okay.
Because Moose is currently the number one contender, right? Or was
yes,
Cedric?
Yes and no.
Oh no, because Moose gets a rubber match. He gets a rematch that he hasn't.
He gets a rematch because he was previous champion. He never cashed that in. Cedric is technically number one contender because he won that right in that 4-way match he had with the 3 members of the Rascals. So
then you know what? I'm gonna say Moose.
Okay.
Because like I think have Moose pin Joe Hendry.
Yes.
So that way, so that you can sort of escalate this Cedric Alexander and Moose feud like over the X Division title, and then eventually get to that triple threat: Cedric Alexander, Moose, and Leon Slater.
I could see this going a couple of different ways if we're thinking about it too, because even though there wasn't no stakes, the System fought Leon, Cedric, and the Hardys last week, with Cedric pinning Moose to get the team win last week. Yeah. So I mean, I could see Moose pinning Cedric, and then they could be tit for tat, like 1-1. Then we're like, all right, we got to figure out who's really number one contender. But yeah, Joe Hendry getting pinned here is actually okay with me. I love he can lose here. Moving on though. For the TNA World Tag Team Championships, the Hardys versus the Righteous. Now here's the thing, right? Hardys are going to be Hardys. We like, fans love them. Wrestling world loves them. I think because the bar is in hell right now after this episode with a whole bunch of stuff, it's probably not going to happen. But against my better judgment, I am going with the Righteous. I feel that the Righteous should win here.
Yes.
Because I'm like, if the Righteous lose, I almost took out my camera and everything because of how passionate I was. But the Hardys have nowhere. The Hardys have no one else to fight. Like, they beat everybody else.
Honestly, it needs to be the Righteous, because number one, the Hardys don't have anyone else to fight. Number two, it gives some credibility to the Righteous, because like they still haven't really won the crowd over. I love them. Don't get me wrong, but I love them because I watch them in AEW. I know what they can do. I've seen a couple of shows of them on the indies. I know what they can do, and they deserve better than what they've been getting. So yes, make them the tag champs and let the Hardys go rest for a little bit. Or I don't know. Like it, yeah. No, let the Righteous win this. Please.
Please don't. Yeah. So Radio and I have I was about to say the Hardys, but I was like, they have the Righteous. We have the Righteous. The Righteous are coming. Anyways, going into our main titles, this one's easy for me. Just out of spite, I'm going with Leia. I still think on paper this should be a really solid match, but I love Zarya, but she don't need to win this championship.
It'll be no doubt about it being a good match. Like this is one of those ones. It's like the match is going to be great, but if this particular outcome doesn't happen,
Carlos Silva, don't fuck this up.
Like T and I are going to have the breakup conversation. You know, like we're going to meet at our favorite cafe and sit down and say, like, we have to talk.
TNA, don't do this because you be fucking up the vibes. Here's the thing. So I'm focusing on Frankie and Mike in this Texas death match. I know Nick is going to cash this bitch in. Whether he's successful or not, I don't care. But the point is going to go between Mike and Frankie unless Nick interferes in the middle.
Of like, no, you're just going to make him the ref. Just have him like sit there like, yeah, no, you guys kick the shit out of each other.
This is how this happens, because after the match, Nick Nemeth tried to come down and cash it in on, Mike, but like shenanigans happen. Daria comes out and it's like, you know what? We're gonna have a rematch. Frankie and Santana, Texas death match. Nick Nemeth's gonna be the special guest referee. Now, I am jealous because I will say Mike Santana has a good record of being at Genesis and having really fun, like no TQ Texas death match. Because last year at Genesis, him and Josh Alexander had an I Quit match, and that bitch was fire. Like that match was so good. It was like so. And here's the thing: I don't think this match is going to be bad, but I was like, damn, y'all. I was like, there's the possibility that Mike Santana won't even hold this title for less than 48 hours, which is some bullshit. All that being said, I was just like, listen, I'm not going up against my Puerto Rican brother. I'm going with Mike on this.
Well, here's the other thing. Nick Nemeth has the call your shot thing. Nick Nemeth is also the ref in the match. Don't you have to give the thing to add to call your shot?
Technically, yeah. It's like a Money in the Bank cash-in.
So what you're telling me is Nemeth
give it to itself.
Is just going to let them beat the shit out of each other, go in and make sure they're both dead to the world. And then when one of them wins, yep, there you go. And then he just kind of goes under the ring, picks up that cup, like, yep, nope, I got it. And I'm still wearing the ref shirt. Come in, cover, fast count, call it a day.
This is going to have some tomfoolery and fuckery.
Yeah,
don't fuck this up. Let Mike
No, they're going to fuck it up. They're going to fuck it up. They are going to fuck it up. There is no, by making Nick Nemeth, the guy who has promised, not even vaguely alluded, not even kind of threatened, is like, ooh, I have this thing. He said, no, this is what I'm going to do. By promising, by broadcasting his Seth Rollins interference bullshit, and he's already done this, and then you make.
First of all, hi JVL, welcome. This is not expecting to see you here. Do we think he'll fast count himself and they book the rest? Shut up, JVL. It's already some bullshit. Here's the thing, right?
That's what he's gonna fast count himself.
Here's the thing, right? JVL loves to harp on me because he's just like, Mikey, can you stand TNA? I was like, listen, I'm a masochist for certain things. TNA, it just happens to be that one promotion I'll be a masochist for. However,
hey, you know what? It's all about finding the kernels of corn in the shit. Unfortunately, this was Taco Bell today. It's
last night's TNA. I was just like, listen, I am the great mighty Pooh. And TNA just threw its shit at you. That is what TNA was. They were the great TNA isn't bad. Oh, don't backpedal now. You were giving me so much shit when I forced you to help me cover a TNA pay-per-view because Andrew and Will couldn't be there. I was like, don't do that to me. No, I'm just kidding. No, last night wasn't even camp, JBL. You know this. It was dog shit. You know me. I am the power of positivity. I am the New Day of once they were once before, right? You all know me to be the positive one. But you also know that when something pisses me off in my professional wrestling and they try to play in my face and, insult bullshit.
Oh, and it's continuing to call it out on this bullshit here.
Am I going to watch it tomorrow still? Yes. And were we going to cover it next Friday? Yes. But I'm not going to be happy about it depending on certain things.
I was going to say,
yes, JBL, yes, that is me this Sunday. And we'll catch you Thursday. God, I got to figure out who's going to be on that panel because there are 8 of you bitches in that show. So we got to figure out who's doing what. I was like, so many people want to do mystery wrestling. I'll probably just run the one.
What to say about the wrestling landscape that everyone in this particular wrestling podcast empire wants to cover mystery wrestling. And when it comes to TNA, you're like, please
please come. Like, please, can you please watch this with me, please?
So I got very lucky because obviously other Papa also Will and myself we're always gonna watch TNA. Like that's the whole thing. And then JT, his work schedule is just kind of fucking up the vibes, but hopefully that changes so he can be back with us. He's still watching and he'll still text me. And then we picked you up on our roster too. So I'm sorry, but I'm also glad you're here. So that is our predictions for Genesis. Tomorrow night's gonna be some bullshit, but honestly, we're still gonna watch and cover it because
Genesis is tomorrow night, and I've always been more of a Super Nintendo kind of guy.
I am excited though for Papa Oso because he will be in the building once again. Yes, we love you too, John. I love you so much. So I will see you Tuesday for AEW and Thursday for Mystery Wrestling. Also, when everything feels better, we will also do our Lucha Libre ceremony once you get those masks made. Yeah, so I'll tell you offline. It's a whole thing, and I'm kind of here for it. But that has been our TNA post-show breakdown. God, this was awful. The show was awful. But honestly, I'm glad that I'm still here though, because like last week radio, it was fun to tear it apart with you. So, and that's what wrestling is, kids. You take the good, the bad, and the ugly, but it is about the friends you made along the way.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like you're right. That's what it is. It's because when it's good to celebrate it with your friends, when it's bad, it's good to tear it apart with your friends.
Yes, and when it's ugly, we all cry together. I'm just kidding. No. So that is going to be it for us tonight. And technically that is it for the rest of this week. So BC Wrestle Pod will be taking its, weekend break because we don't really do too many weekend things, as I say this now. And then I'm looking at the next few months and I'm like, but we are taking Saturday and Sunday off to reset and recuperate. But don't touch that dial because next week is chocked full of everything. Guys, we have a full week next week. It's going to be insane. So on Tuesday, we are back with the AEW post-show breakdown where we are covering Maximum Carnage Dynamite and Maximum Carnage Collision, which is happening tomorrow. Can't wait for that. That's going to be great. Then on Wednesday, of course, it's the double header of NXT and CMLL, which I'm super excited for because NXT is always hit and miss, but Lucha Libre in Mexico is always never going to disappoint me. Then on Thursday, yes, we are actually having a Thursday post-show breakdown. It is the Mystery Wrestling 21 post-show breakdown at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, because, listen, I need a good laugh. And we are in Cardiff, bitches! Wrestling is going abroad because we are in Cardiff.
Can I tell you, tickets went on sale last week, I think, for Mystery Wrestling 22, and it's back in Canada. It's back in Quebec. Mm-hmm. I am so annoyed that it's 2 weeks before PAX East, which means which basically said it's my ability to afford going to it is just got shot in the face. It's I could have gone. No, I'm going to PAX East because my girlfriend's coming up for it. And it's PAX East. I got a free ticket.
Listen,
blah blah blah.
It's just shout out to Vixie. I love you. I was just it's fantastic. Keeping our boy in check. No, I'm just kidding. Yep. No, take care of him because I need to see him on Friday still. I was just I'll probably run the ones and twos and be hi guys, I'm in the background. Y'all have your thing. So we'll see what happens. But then on Friday, it's the TNA Genesis post-show breakdown. This is the first of its announcement, but unfortunately, I will not be here. But don't worry, I'm not leaving the Wills to run this on their own. I am tagging in my friend Kilt, who, of course, both me and Radio know from various things. He will be running the ones and twos, and he will be here. So both of y'all can just, look pretty as you rip apart Genesis. And also, I think it's going to be fun, too, because we have the perspective of being in the building for this one. So
there you go. Yep.
That's going to be fun. So, yeah, so it's going to be a fun week next week. All right, we're going to get up on out of here. It's been an hour and a half of just some tomfoolery and fuckery that we have had this evening, and it is late for radio, so I'm going to get him to bed before he turns into a pumpkin. But thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back next week for another full jam-packed schedule, and I cannot wait for all the tomfoolery, shenanigans, crying, and everything that comes with for being a professional wrestling fan. But until then, from all of us here at BC Wrestle Pod, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay biconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you next week for a plethora of fun stuff. But until then, sayonara. And until next time, peace.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's going to happen next time? Well, you're going to have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.